going to run through some great exercises for runners, and actually for anyone who's struggling with some ankle flexibility, stability and strength, or any hip stability and strength. So if you feel like your ankle collapses in, if you're hypermobile, or if you just want to improve your running generally, this is a really good place to start. So running as a whole is a unilateral movement in the sense that we spend all of our time on one foot. There's no point in a running cycle where both feet are on the floor at the same time. So given that, it's really important that we are strong and stable and we have good control through our ankle, all the way up through the hip and also through the spine. Okay? If we're losing control through there, we're going to leak tension out and we're not going to have an efficient running pattern. Okay? So step one, all we're going to do is just get used to balancing on one foot. So for that, really simple, just plant the foot on the floor, think about gripping the floor with our big toe, our little toe and our heel. Okay, what we're going to do then is bring the other foot off the floor, just try and balance. Okay, think about centering yourself through your belly button. So we're trying to just link in our minds our foot, our hip and our core. Okay, try and look around the room, get comfortable. If we're really comfortable, we can hold it for 30 seconds. We can try and close our eyes and you'll feel that will just creep in a little bit more instability because we now haven't got our visual stimulus, but that's going to challenge our ankle and foot a lot more. You can probably see how much my foot's having to react now because my eyes are closed. Once we get really comfortable with that, we can then start to introduce some movement and actually apply a bit more balance and really find our range of movement. The aim is to have control through the biggest range of movement we can. That's going to improve our chances of, if we hit a misstep, we're going to be able to pull ourselves back into line and we're not going to be injured as easily, especially by the repetitive nature of running. So for this drill, same thing to start with. So we're going to plant the foot, big toe joint, little toe joint, heel. Try and keep the toes nice and loose, okay, therefore our fine control. When we're there, we're then going to try and centre ourselves through our core again, and we're going to bring this knee up. So we're completely balanced on one foot. From here, we're then going to tap a position as far in front of us as we can. So we are going to bend this knee, bring the knee forwards of the toe, try and tap a place as far in front of us as we can, and then return to centre. We're then going to take it out to the side, again bending the leg, counterbalancing, tap, and come back to the centre. We're then going to come out as far as we can to the back, so really push that leg long, drop in, reach, come up. Try and not to touch the foot down. If you have to, you can do, that's fine. Then we're going to come across the other side, so round the back, push as far around as we can, tap, and then come back. Okay, we're going to work for this for say 60 seconds, and by that time you'll feel all of this lower leg, possibly your foot arch and your hip should be working really hard. We're going to work that left and right, and then we're going to build. So if you can do that for 60 seconds on each leg, and it's feeling quite comfortable, we're going to add another layer. This other layer is going to then challenge our hip a little bit more. So from here, again, once we've done our circle out to each side, we've really explored our range of movement. We're then going to come up to centre. We're going to pull the knee nice and taut. We're getting hip flexor activation here. Keep the core nice and tight, chest facing forwards. We're then going to externally rotate, keeping the chest forward, so we're really opening out from just the hip, so we're going to have to use a lot of glute here. Put it back to the centre. Push the leg out to the back, keeping the leg nice and long. We're going to come into this position here, so my body's now parallel with the floor, just purely balanced on this one leg. Then we're going to come back up, back out, in, before going into our next circle. The further progression from that, so we're going to, again, we've done our circle, all four sides. We then come up, keeping the chest nice and square. We've opened out our hip, we've closed it off again. We've now pushed it out and we've got a really solid single leg hinge. We're then going to open out the hip, so we're going to really challenge our standing hip now. So we're going to open out, it's working our balance, the foot's having to work really hard, the muscles of the lower leg are having to work really hard. I'm opening out as far as we can, trying to get these hips perpendicular to the floor. Pause, and we're going to gradually pull them back in. Stand up nice and tall. Open the hip, close the hip. and into our next rep. Just from doing that one, my ankle, my foot have had to work really hard. I'm feeling that in my hip as well. So as you can see, that's going to give us a lot more stability and control as we then land in our run. We're going to be much more able to balance and react to any slight imbalances, which is going to give us much more strength and stability, and we're going to reduce injury. The other big component of our running is having ability about the hips, about the spine, and developing a lot of strength in our single leg patterns, so our lunges, our hip hinges, and adding some rotation into those movements as well. We'll come on to that in our next video.